Bizarre Brain Comics. Hello, my comic book friends, and welcome to Bizarre Brain Comics. I am Gary, your host. This is where I like to take a look at some older comics, talk a little bit about the characters and creators, and examine the stories and the art. Well, this weekend, while I'm shooting this, is Independence Day weekend, and I'm a little late on getting something for that, but that's okay. So I thought something good might be just showing a bunch of some war comics. I may have shown some of these before. I think at least one of these I did a whole episode on, but it's about how war comics be kind of appropriate, and maybe a reminder that because most of these are, of course, World War II stories, and a reminder that we defeated fascism in the 40s. Let's keep it that way. Okay, let's start off with here. Ooh, here we have. What was the issue number? I forgot to look. Jungle War Stories from Dell Comics, 1965, and this is issue number 5. Nice cover painting, like so many Dell titles were known for the cover painting, but they didn't all have cover paintings at this time after they split from Western Publishing. As I've said before, with the Dell in the 60s, through the 60s and 70s, I never saw any new Dell comics. I thought they were completely gone by then with the split at the Gold Key. We just didn't get them in our part of the country. And here this is surprisingly, this is from 1960s. Wait, what year did that say? Oh, this is 1963. Oh, this is very contemporaneous then, because it's takes place in Vietnam. At least this lead story does. So it was like right at the beginning of that period. I thought it was going to be Korea, but not. And I don't know who this artist is. Oh, I would. Oh, it looks like kind of looks like Vince Coletta right there. And then another one here. This also looks kind of like Vince Coletta, at least the inking style. But I can't say. Anyway, it's some nice stuff. I have not read this. I'm gonna set it aside to read it sometime. And then here also from Dell. This is from 66, I think it was. Air War Stories, and you can see here this is a line drawing for the cover. It says, "The blaze of glory that spells defeat." And this is drawn by Sam Glanzman, who did so much in war comics, the 50s, 60s, and 70s. Because here doing stuff for Dell, he did a lot at Charlton Comics and a lot in the DC war comics, as well as doing some stuff at Dell that wasn't war comics, but not much. Most of what he is most closely associated with the war comics. And this is number 7, Air War Stories, and it's Sam Glanzman. And I was flipping through this earlier, just a little bit ago, and it looks like the entire issue, even though there's several stories, was drawn by Sam Glanzman. Not just World War II, but has some World War I stuff in here as well. Of course, does some really nice stuff on the aircraft, the ships, and the like. Of course, and Sam Glanzman he was in the Navy in World War II, and his series, the USS Stevenson, I think is what it was called, in the published by DC Comics, was written and drawn by him based on his experiences in the war. And here we have 4-Star Battle number 5. An impossible mission, not for the three frogmen. And this is from, I think it was 73. Was it? Yeah, 1973. And it's Soldiers Luck. And this is just all anthology, various stories. But some of the stuff was reprinted. I think I covered at least the one story in this one. Coming up here. This one, The Three Frogmen. This is cool. And this is reprint. I think all of the stories were reprints from 50s and early 60s. But I see one of the interesting things is about this story is that it's drawn by Mort Drucker. Beautiful job. Now, Mort Drucker probably isn't nearly as well known now as he was, but for decades, he was one of the primary caricature artists working at Mad Magazine. And so he was a premier caricaturist. And yet here we see how wonderful his art was for the for regular comics, the war comics. Then here we have 12 center, Our Army at War, number 165. So this was 66, I think. 1966. Main story's art, of course, featuring Sergeant Rock, and the main story is drawn by Joe Kubert, who also did the cover. He does so many of these covers, and even after he was no longer the primary artist doing the Sergeant Rock stories. But you can clearly see it. And this is involving the Iron Major, who had been a villain, a man with a steel hand, and been a big villain for Rock and Easy Company. And if a previous story, I thought he had been killed, but not so. And here he is, just getting the crap beat out of him. With some really great stuff. And then another story, The Desert and the Doomed, art by Jack Abel, which goes back in time, which is primarily a story taking place in ancient Egypt, but it's also reflected in the events, in some events in World War II at the same location. Then we have Our Army at War, number 273. This is, 72? 74. Another great Joe Kubert cover, Sergeant Rock in the Arena. Sergeant Rock in a fight to the death against the Nazi giant. But the interior story is drawn by Russ Heath, who is just as marvelous. And this is another story that has parallels in another time. There's Rock of Easy Company in the Arena, because it involves some gladiators in the Colosseum in Rome, and Rock put into into a position in the Colosseum to fight as a gladiator against the Nazi soldier. And then another backup story is Bob Kanigher's Gallery of War, art by Rick Estrada, Once a Hero. Then another Our Army at War featuring Sergeant Rock, number 285. That's just a couple issues after this one, after that other one. Still Joe Kubert cover, lots of action. It's kind of folded there. It won't fold back. And this is the one that's I think drawn by Doug Wildey. That's real unusual. You know him best for a lot of the Western stuff that he's done. He's marvelous artwork from Doug Wildey. Remember, he was the creator of the Johnny Quest for Hanna-Barbera. Some really, really cool stuff, and unusual for Sergeant Rock. Yeah. Then we go to, it's still our Army at War, but the title has changed to just Sergeant Rock. It's number 314. Another Joe Kubert cover. Ow, 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 ow. And another Doug Wildey story. Is that right? Yeah, Doug Wildey story. Sergeant Rock of a Gimme Sky. And this is, has some, of course, always fighting Nazis, and they're being transported on a Easy Company, being transported on various ships, and at some point they are on a submarine and being menaced, and Rock has to go out hand to hand against a scuba diver to ensure the safety of his unit. Then Battle Album. Ah, there it is. Boom, boom. And here we are, another Sergeant Rock, number 353. Still Joe Kubert doing the covers, of course. Says, "Get down, Major. We can't fire past you. Just use my bald head as a sight marker, Sergeant." In tarnished brass. Yeah, Easy Company gets a new CO, tarnished brass. Who did it? Is that Russ Heath? I don't. No, this is art by Frank Redondo. Still pretty good. Not as good as quite as good as Russ Heath, but it's still some really nice work. Just like past my head, Sergeant. And then another, his story of the past. Looks like Antony and Cleopatra. Then we go to GI Combat number 207. This was one of the Dollar Giants ones. Let's see here. This is, what year was this? Doesn't have the. This is from 1978. And of course, the GI Combat featured primarily the haunted tank, Foxhole for a Sherman. And so many of these, written by Bob Kanigher, who is the primary writer for most of these war stories. And haunted tank was always primarily drawn for a long time by Sam Glanzman again. But this is a thick one, has other stuff in here. The OSS codename Sledgehammer. OSS, a spy, wartime spy story. Here's another one. Where is it? Yeah, another one is Ladybird Scores Zero. Art by Rick Estrada, but this is written by Jan Laurie. I am assuming that this Jan is female, but Jan is also not always. And just, anthology stories, all kinds of good war stories. Covers come up on that one. Then we have 203. Oh, that one should have been first. Another dollar-sized one. It says, "The gore, grime, and guts of war in 7 explosive epics." Oh yeah, this is when the crew of the haunted tank get captured or buried up to their head in the sand, and the Germans take off in their tank. To be some kind of decoy or something. Still Sam Glanzman. Combat Curiosities. Yeah, I always have little things of historical significance, equipment, and things like that. The Bride carried a Tommy gun. It's like undercover. I mean, the underground. Yeah, and some more Honda tank, different creators. Always good stuff. And then we finish up with the only one in this batch of from Marvel is Blazing Battle Action with Sergeant Fury and his Howling Commandos, number 133, which is reprint story from Sergeant Fury number 31, written by Roy Thomas and illustrated by Dick Ayers. And they did a good job. I really like the Sergeant Fury stuff, but I'm sorry to say, as much as I like it, it just really doesn't compare to overall to the most of the DC War stuff, especially Sergeant Rock. But because Sergeant Rock is tops and for me, and then Fury is down there just a little bit below Sergeant Rock. It's always good stuff. So that is what I have to share with you this time for our Independence Day weekend. Even though it'll be over by the time you see this, I want to thank you for joining me. And please like, share, subscribe, leave your comments down below. Tell me how much you like the old war comics, if you do. And if you don't like them, tell me why you don't like them. It might largely be a generational thing. I don't know. I like the World War II stuff. I don't mind Korea. I never got into much for the Vietnam stuff. And I said that might have been too close to home because I saw it on the news all the time. And I had friends and family members involved. And then later shipmates who were also in the Vietnam conflict. But thank you for joining me. Please like, share, subscribe. I said that already. And remember, comics are art.